See, I'm wearing them today, but like mine, in my ankle, it doesn't show much of my legs.
Oh, see, you get all of my legs. You get my whole
And I
leg.
also don't, like, sometimes you'll bring yours up. I try to keep mine, like, pretty flat.
Well, bro, I didn't realize how annoying this was because, hold on. I didn't realize how annoying it was not being up against the wall with the beanbag. Like,
Yeah.
the old studio, I was up against the wall, like the beanbag was. So it only sank down. Like, I didn't go back at all. But this one, I'm a little bit forward because I have lights behind me.
Yeah, same.
And yeah, so it's like I'm like doing like an ab workout half the time. Because
That's
I'm, like,
why
trying to
I
stay
always
up.
sit like this, bro.
Like
Yeah,
we're cutting that out. Don't worry.
No, he bleeps that, and they're like, "Dang, what did he say?"
Yes,
no, but
that's
like,
what I'm gonna do.
I always have to sit like this because I like at least this. Like, I'll go, if anything, I'll go down because the beanbag will sink. But like, I don't have to like hold myself up. But like sometimes, I have to like. I mean, my arm will
Yeah,
get
your arm starts falling asleep.
pretty tired in there. But I mean, I think the beanbags have been good to us overall.
No complaint. Like other than just a beanbag, you know what I mean? Like beanbags morph and move and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter. Like other than that, they're great. Like they're so comfortable.
Yeah, I do really like that. I sent you those chairs though from Target that one time. I still think those are. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows if they'll have them anymore? But like, bro, I'm telling you, they were the perfect size, They were pretty much this height, but it was like an actual chair, you know. So maybe one day.
Maybe. Oh, whoa. Yeah, maybe
Dang.
one day.
Are we both coffeeless this episode?
Yes, bro. I made another life update. Oh, also welcome to episode 2 of season 2. So we double twoing. I said it in my head. It kind of sounded weird, so I was trying
It's
to
the
come up with
first
something else,
time
but I
it will
couldn't.
ever be 2-2. So appreciate that.
First and last, because we're not gonna make a third podcast. I'm done after this one.
But you were saying.
Oh my gosh, it's our second season. It's our second episode of the second season of our second podcast.
Of your second podcast. Whoop. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I had a
No, you
secret
s-
one back in the day. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you did have a YouTube channel back in the day.
I did have a YouTube channel, but that wasn't really a podcast.
Hey,
But,
tomato.
yeah, it seems like we're both breaking the tradition, and we don't have any coffee this episode.
Yeah,
So our logo means nothing, pretty much.
our logo's sick. I want our logo like right here.
Yeah, it would honestly be really cool as like a neon sign. Like, it would be sick, just because the colors, and it would be very vibrant.
I looked at it. I think it's like a couple hundred. to
Yeah, I
that side.
bet. They have a neon sign store like literally right down the street from me. I could probably
Yeah,
go
what, Tyler?
inquire about it.
What if?
That's LA, bro. You have everything everywhere. You don't need Amazon. You got.
So why haven't you done it?
I don't know. I just haven't. I haven't had the money to get one, so I'm like, all right, when that time comes, I'll invest. I'll look at, about investing into it. But yeah, I think we should definitely do a review next week.
I'm down. I can do a review next week.
And
Especially
maybe try
since
to
I
find
moved.
different spots. Yeah, we could honestly. I mean, we could do a new spot. We could also, because I'm not the biggest fan of pumpkin. As I've grown older, I don't dislike it, but it's still not like something that'll be my first choice, right? In terms of like cake or coffee or whatever, around September, October, November, everybody goes crazy for pumpkin spice. So maybe we could try like the Starbucks one and then try a different one and see, like, I don't know, do you like pumpkin spice at all?
I'm kind of where you're at. My wife Delaney, she loves pumpkin spice. Like the second it hits the shelf on anywhere, she's like freaking out. She's like, "Oh my god, I gotta go to Starbucks. Oh my god, I gotta go buy
a
pumpkin
lot of
spice
people
creamer.
are.
I gotta go."
Right.
And that's dope. I love it. We also got the pumpkin spice like roll from Publix. It's like a
That's
cake
good.
with
That's pretty
cream
good.
filling. That was fire.
When you have the cream filling, it balances it out really well.
Yeah, I agree. So back to pumpkin spice. Pumpkin spice. Yeah, I'm kind of the same as you. I like it now. I didn't like it when I was younger, but over time I've grown to like it. I'm never like tweaking about it, but I'll drink it. Like I have no problem. Like I will enjoy a pumpkin spice, but I'm picky with my pumpkin spice. I think you can mess up pumpkin spice very easy, in my opinion.
Okay, I think we should definitely try some out then. You know,
Okay,
give the viewers what they want.
New series, especially for short form. Us trying to find the best pumpkin spices in our towns.
Maybe because I don't know if I want to drink it every week, bro. Like I don't, like I said, I don't necessarily enjoy it. But
do it for the fans.
But also, that's the
like
thing.
and comment pumpkin spice Thai, and he will do it every single week.
Here's the thing, though. I haven't seen, because I've been to a couple different coffee shops like this month, and I haven't seen it at every one. Now, have I been actively looking? No. But, like, typically it'll be like, you know, now available or, like, new flavor or this or that. Like, I haven't necessarily seen it at the coffee shops I frequent. So I'd have to double check on that and see if that's even a thing I could do. I'm sure, like, in October, maybe it'll be more of a thing. So maybe that could be, like, an October series where we, like, try. Because that would only be 4 weeks, you know. Wouldn't be. I could live with that. But, you know. I don't know about 2 months straight of that.
I mean, okay, yeah, 2 months is a lot. But look, all I'm going to say is I don't remember. You
All right, anyways, continue on with your life updates.
I was just talking about our new espresso machine.
Where, at your house? I mean, your apartment?
Yeah. Whoa.
Okay, so then maybe you make a pumpkin spice, send it over to me, and then we review that.
Yeah, in a bag? Like, what do you want me to send it in? Just put it like in a juice box and ship it over?
Could be neat. I really want a coffee machine, bro. I've been wanting one for a while, but
yeah, we by we I mean Delaney. I didn't do anything. She found one that she liked. It's actually one of my aunts. She has like this super fancy Nespresso one, and Delaney liked it because Delaney's bougie, and she ordered like a really good one, not the best one that they have, but like a little bit under. And they're pretty good, bro. And it looks cool, it's fast, but I just had I don't know if it's I messed it up with the agave or what, but I made a pumpkin spice one yesterday, like the Nespresso pumpkin spice pod.
Yeah.
And it was not it. It was not it. I think I personally like the taste of coffee, right? But I think the creamer has to be pumpkin spice for me. Like, if the coffee is pumpkin spice, I don't really care for it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, it depends, bro. Sometimes those pods, like, they just don't hit the same. You know what I mean?
True.
Versus, like, if you were to go somewhere and they were to actually, like, just do a brew and then... I mean, it is, bro, nowadays, like, you know, back when I first started drinking coffee, I was all about the sweet stuff. And, like, don't get me wrong, I still love a frappe every now and then. Like, don't get me wrong. But I really had no concept of, like, what just basic black coffee tasted like. So nowadays, when I go and get coffee, nowadays my go-to is, like, a cold brew with the foam on top. So, you know, if you stick your straw in and you get down to the bottom, you might get like a tad bit of cream, but you can really just get the cold brew because it's not mixed in yet.
Yeah.
So typically that's what I'll do to like kind of taste the different brews before I, mix in all the cream and stuff. And I can actually like differentiate between the coffees now. Like I'm like, oh, okay, this one's good. Or this one's a little bit bitter. Or this one's a little bit like too unsweet.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be like, this is the Himalayan cocoa bean, and then with the hint of cacao.
No, I have no idea.
This is the Costa
that.
Rican blend with the twist of Puerto Rico.
No,
like,
absolutely not. Maybe one day, but yeah, I've started to actually enjoy the flavor of coffee more. Cause like I said, even with the cold brew foams, like yeah, you're still getting that cream and some of the sugar and sweets in there, but it's not as much as like if you're getting like, you know, a latte with like, you know, a whole half the cup is milk, half the cup is syrup. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit more coffee tasting, and like I enjoy that a lot more now, which is pretty nice. Actually, you know, because I don't have to do too many additives to it, which is nice. But yeah, it's interesting when you can actually like taste the different brews, and that's why like I like this one specific spot over this specific spot. Both are good, but I'm like I would prefer this because I like their coffee a little bit better. So like whenever the cream is mixed in, obviously like I feel like I'm gonna like this better than if I like the brew better than this place. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense to anybody?
I think so.
I mean, and listen, like, you know, you can always just go to Starbucks. Starbucks is good. It's not the absolute, it's not the best by any means, but like it's good if you're in a pinch, you know.
Do you have like a favorite type of coffee?
What do you mean by that?
Like, not necessarily like lattes, frappuccinos, like not like that. Like, do you know that if you like dark roast, or just like a blonde roast, or
No,
like
I have no idea.
no?
I have no idea. I see those because sometimes, like when I'm at the grocery store, I'll try to buy like the cold brews that are pre-made because like typically I don't want to be spending $6-7 on coffee unless I go to like Edit or something. But so I've been trying to more recently get in the habit of like buying the cold brew bottles so that like on the day-to-day basis I can just do those. And yeah, it's I like see all of them, like yeah, the blonde, the dark, the unsweetened, the sweet, and I'm just like I don't know which one do I usually get at, you know, they don't specify that at the coffee shop.
Okay, I'm gonna put you
So
on. Next time you go to the grocery store, when is that? Sunday?
yeah.
So Sunday. Everyone watching is gonna agree with me too, especially if they're Latino. Go and get the Cafe Bustelo. Since you don't have a coffee machine, just get the instant coffee.
That's the yellow one, right? With the red?
Yes.
Okay, they actually just came out with a cold brew version of that. I haven't tried it yet, but they
Okay,
came
try
out.
that, but also buy the instant coffee one just because it's also cheaper.
Yeah, right.
So try that, but bro, I'm telling you,
How do
Cafe
you make it
Bustelo
iced?
is one of the. You just cool it down.
Do you have to make it with hot water?
I don't know. I've never tried to make it iced, so
Hmm.
I've never like really thought about it.
Okay. But that you're
But
saying
yeah,
that's the top Latino brand? Is that what you're saying?
there's one other one that's like that they argue sometimes, and I forget what it's called, but it's green and I think it has like orange letters, but I forget. I've never had that one, but yeah, Cafe Bustelo is like top tier.
Top
Like
dog.
nothing. What's that guy on TikTok? The Zen guy. The sheep. And like, I got an upper decker today. Zip.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
No. Anyways, he's funny. I'll tag him right here. But he talks about Cafe Bustelo. He's like, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna wake up." He's like, "You want to know how I wake up and feeling like a racehorse?" He's like, "Cafe Bustelo, baby." It's something like that. But it's just so funny.
He's like Cafe Bustelo plus 2 zins.
Yeah, no, literally.
That's crazy.
Yo, Zins is like, I feel like Zins blew up and I didn't even know. Like, I went from just hearing about Zins to like, I know so many people that do Zins. And I like don't see it either because it's just in their mouth. So it's like people will have been doing it for a long time or like
Yeah.
even as long as I'd known them because like I just met them and I would never know until I saw like the container or something like that because it's just sitting in your mouth.
Yeah, I think TikTok definitely helped bring that up into its newfound fame of a product, I guess you could say, because like
Yeah.
it really once you got I don't know some people making TikToks about it, it just blew up, dude, and like everybody was switching to it, and I've never tried one, but
Yeah,
I've
me
never
either.
been into nicotine either, so but yeah, I mean it's like it's crazy what the power of social media can do for products, and nowadays, man, it can really help something grow exponentially fast rather than if it was just a new item on the marketplace, you know what I mean, without any social media push.
Speaking of social media push and products, oh my gosh, dude, we haven't done the intro at all.
Well, I guess we should cue that up right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start. Introducing Catchin Up Podcast.
Catching Up Podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means.
And back to what I was saying. So you guess what I bought on Amazon that got here on Monday, but I can't find it. It's not. I don't have a code for the Amazon locker. I went in the overflow room. I couldn't find it, and I'm really pissed because I spent not like a lot of money, but like a decent chunk on
To us, a lot of money.
Yeah, to us because we broke boys. I can talk to broke boys. I bought it for Delaney and I specifically for HHN, but I feel like it's just gonna be useful. Those neck fans, bro.
Those are expensive?
I mean, it was like $75 for two. That's why I was like,
Oh,
it was like
okay.
almost
Well,
100.
yeah, I don't know.
Like it wasn't. That's what I was saying. Like I wasn't spending a lot of money. It was
No, I
more
know
of
what
just
you
like
mean.
$75 for these two little things that go around your neck.
Well, I thought it would have been like $10 each. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. It was like 30.
Yeah, I've seen
35,
those
I
though.
think.
I mean, I'm sure that would be very handy in Florida for sure.
Yeah, especially like I don't know if my job will let me use it. I hope they do because I'd be sweating because I'd be running around. But either way, like HHN for sure. Anytime you're outside in Florida, literally anytime, it's helpful. So, but bro, I'm so pissed because I can't even use them. They said it got delivered to my area of living, and the
Right.
locker didn't. I didn't get a code for the locker. It's not in the mailroom. Like I'm just like, bruh,
Huh.
I'm sweating over here. I'm sweating.
Yeah, I've never had to use those lockers, so I have I cannot be of help in this situation, unfortunately.
Well, it's not even that. Like I've used the locker before, and that's the thing is, with Amazon, you either get sent a code because it's in a locker, so you got to open the locker, or they put it somewhere and send you a picture of where they put it. I didn't get either.
True.
It just says delivered, and I'm like, well, where?
Dang.
Donde?
So,
Right? I'm just
Yeah. So
I
what's the
gotta
next
call
step?
Amazon after
Oh,
this.
you gotta call Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, R.I.P. to 2 hours of your life.
Bro, for real, last night it was like 3 in the morning. No, it was like 2 or 3. Yeah, 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was coming home from work. I just stopped at the mailroom. I spent time looking for it. And then I'm like, fine, I'll just call Amazon. At 3 in the morning, there was still a 30-minute wait. I was like, bro, I'm not going to sit in the mailroom for another
3 in
30
the
minutes.
morning? Dang.
Yeah, so I can't imagine 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to update us with?
No.
Oh, okay, he doesn't want to.
No, I think that's it. I've been just working a lot.
Yeah.
So there's
yeah.
not much that's happened that I can talk about because some stuff that happens at work you can't talk about.
He said, I can't talk about the beef that's going on at work, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know who's watching, so
I don't want to be getting caught.
I gotta
lacking in
wait
the
till it's
parking lot.
past us.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man, it's been the same over here. Working auditions have still been fairly slow going into the summer, you know. So a couple commercials here and auditions here and there, I should say. But yeah, the entertainment industry out here, for anybody wondering, in LA is still pretty slow moving to get back on track. It's definitely trending in that direction. But you know, it's still nowhere where it used to be. So that's you know, an interesting thing. So,
yeah.
you know, still staying, you know, trying to still practice and train and stay ready for obviously when those opportunities do come. But you know, something that I've been getting into more recently for me is, you know, delving into my faith and my journey in Christianity. And something that I wanted to bring up, just kind of speak about that a little bit because I haven't got to yet. And I don't really even know if I've been able to chat with you about that just because we, a lot of the times we can't really even catch up that much outside of the podcast because he's working, I'm working one different time zones. He works a night job, I work a day job. So like a lot of the times, like we used to be able to call a lot, but obviously our lives are so much more busy nowadays. And obviously like when he's off work, he's got a wife. When I'm off work, I've got a girlfriend. So like, we have other obligations now as well. So, of course we still chat, but it's hard to keep it as in depth. But, one of the things that I think has been, because I take notes down in my journal that my girlfriend got me. And she just got me this notebook for my birthday. And it wasn't like, she basically said, use it for whatever you want. If it's for, your goals, getting specific about that, because she's big on like writing things down and obviously speaking it into existence. And, she was also like, if you want to use it to talk to God, you can as well. And that's mainly what I've used it for. And one of the quotes out of the Bible, or one of the, would you call it a quote? Verses, yeah. One of the verses that has really, stuck out to me so much is Matthew 7:8, which is, and to those who knock, the door will be opened. And for me, that's such a big thing, and it speaks to the beginning part of my journey, because, for so long, I feel like I just had this hardening on my heart where it just wasn't open to the aspect of like, and I think this is where a lot of people are, and not just with Christianity, I think with just religion in general, they just have this like, they have something against it, right? They like see people who are in religion and they hear people preach about it, and they're young, they're living life, they don't want to hear about it, they're doing their own thing, like, because a lot of people think, oh well, if I become a part of religion, I'll have all these rules upon me and stuff like that. And once you get into it, you understand different aspects of it, and that it's a lot more freeing than it is rules and chains on you. But for the first time in my life, really, like I've actually been journaling and reflecting. And, another thing, like before that all happened is, when I first started to try to get into my faith and learn about Christianity, I was like, I'm just going to start praying. I was like, I remember speaking with Gabe before the year started, and I was like, and I wasn't in a place of like, I know some people can come to their religion through like a lot of hardships, and they find God at their most broken part, and I don't think that was me. I do think that I was very much so living for myself, which I think a lot of us are, and it's hard to get out of that. But I would say that I was doing fine. Like I just always felt like there was still something missing, and I didn't know what that was, and I just felt for some reason I was like, that this has to be like my faith. I've always been lacking faith in something. And so I just decided to start praying and just start talking to God. And like that eventually led to me going to church with my girlfriend and her best friend. And then that led me to talking with Gabe and asking him questions about the religion and certain things that I had questions about, and certain things about beliefs that I had. And because me and him a lot of the time share the same beliefs, share the same views, share the same outlooks on life. So I was like, okay, let me talk to him. Let me talk to somebody who has also probably experienced these same things. And he was super helpful and super encouraging and guided me in the right direction. But it was that initial start to try to talk to God, to try to have a prayer life, that I think really led me, and he led me to then all these other, dominoes fell. I started going to church. I started asking questions that I needed to ask, whereas before I wouldn't even ask the questions. I didn't want to know. like if he would bring something up about it, I would just, of course I was very supportive. I was never downplaying of his religion, but I was like, okay, cool. I'll let him say his grace and that's it. I'm not going to ask questions. I'm not going to delve into it and try to see his perspective. And so for me, it was such a big thing of just like this, how this journey evolutionized for me to now where I'm like reading the Bible almost every day. I'm trying to get better about it and do it every day.
It's hard.
Of course it is hard sometimes, but at least making an effort to, whereas before, again, like it wasn't even on my radar, right? I'm journaling almost every day and like writing down verses and reflecting on them and trying to understand them by looking them up and seeing what do they mean versus what I thought they mean. So it was just this whole domino effect that started by me just praying. And so again, to everybody who knocks, the door will be open. You have to knock, or if you feel this calling in your life, right? If you feel this knocking at your door, you have to be the one to open it up. You can have friends and you can have people and of course, there's been so many people that I look up to on podcasts that help me with my journey and help me with my understanding. And of course, Gabe and my girlfriend and many other people that I've met in the church as well. But if I didn't make that effort to open my heart, to open my eyes, to open my mind, I wouldn't be in this position where I'm at today with my faith, with my beliefs, with how far I've come in my journey with Christianity. And so, I think to like summarize it all up is like, if there's one thing you could start doing to try, and again, this could just be me encouraging you with any religion, because I think faith is such a big part of life. And of course, while I believe in Christianity and Jesus, and that's, of course, what I would encourage everybody to go towards. But I think if there's just something in your life that you feel is missing or lacking, or, you've been feeling this call to faith, but you just always brush it off, or you always just say, nah, I'll get to that later. Like, don't wait, just start. Just start by praying. Just start by talking to God. And he will lead you in the direction you need to go, but you have to be the one to open the door. You have to be the one to say, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to have this relationship, because he's there. He's always been there. He's always wanted this relationship with you, and he loves you no matter what, right? But he's not going to force you to have a relationship with him. That's why we're put on earth. We have free will for a reason, So that was just a big verse that has been really speaking to me. And a lot of the times when I try to reflect, because it's hard. Sometimes you get along your journey, you're like, man, like, even my girlfriend asked me the other day, she's like, do you see the change in you from like a year ago? Like, because now we talk about it and stuff like that. And she's like, you never brought this stuff up. You never talked about it. You never had this quote unquote fire for it, and sometimes it's hard to like actually see that in real time, because your life just keeps going on, and like,
it's progressive too.
Exactly. You're still doing you're still working your job. You're still doing this and that, but like, you notice how like the things you're consuming, like when I go to unfortunately I don't get to go a lot, but when I do go to the beach now, like I'm trying to be in my Bible and like, study it and learn and write down and reflect, right? Versus like before, I would just go and listen to music, listen to a podcast, which is cool. I'm not saying like I have to do that every time, but I'm just saying the change in like my mind.
It's something you want to do.
Exactly. Now it's something I want to do. And it all started with me just opening my mind to that and not being so, steadfast on like, no, I know it all. I'm living for me. I'm going to do what I want. You know what I mean? So might be a bit of a long-winded explanation there, but it's just something that I wanted to obviously touch upon, because we had said we wanted to bring it in and different aspects of our faith. And so that was something that I feel like was a good catapult, because that's what started it all, was me just starting to talk to God. I feel like sometimes people get scared and are like, oh, do I have to like immediately go to church? Do I have to immediately do this and immediately do that? No, it's a process. It's a process for everybody. Even people who have been Christians for years and years and years, they work on it every single day. It's not like, oh, I got it. switch turn, like
Yeah,
we're all working
you're
on it,
never gonna be like the perfect Christian. You're never gonna be a good Christian. Like you're always gonna lack someplace. You're always gonna fall short. You're always gonna,
Cheers.
we're human at the end of the day. But it's like you were saying, it's that verse like is perfect. It always kind of like it kind of incorporates to what I always say, where it's like it's a relationship. You and your girlfriend or your boyfriend won't last if you guys don't talk. And also for your relationship to flourish, you got to talk, you got to communicate, you got to spend time together, right? But it also takes time. I think a lot of people where they not fall short, sorry, where they get it wrong or the misinterpretation is that they'll do what you did, where they're like, I'll pray, but like they're praying for this one specific thing to happen in this specific time frame.
Right.
And no, it's a process. It takes time, and it's also your heart. Like, are you doing that because you're really trying to seek the truth or figure out what you believe in, or are you trying to check it off a list and just be like, and kind of like giving it an ultimatum, like if you don't do this, like then it's not real.
Yeah, or like, hey, I'm going through this struggle right now. Can you please help me out and give me some money? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
obviously there's different intentions behind it all, So again, it's like just seek that relationship. Just have a conversation with him as if, of course he's your father, but he's also your friend. Like he's there to be your best friend, of course, with that father mentality. But like I feel like sometimes too people think like, oh, how do I pray? Like, do I have to do a specific thing? And it's like, you just talk. You just have a conversation with him. Like like he's your
it's like
father.
talking to your friend.
Yeah. And I promise you'll find your way through it, and like I said, he will lead you in the direction that you need to be going. But you got to take that first step. You have to be bold in that way to just say, hey, I want to, and again, like, listen, if it's not for you, you tried, and that's the thing about it all. It's like, if you just don't even like give it the effort, which a lot of people don't, which I didn't for so long, if I just kept in my ways, I never would have tried. I never would have changed. I never would have had these different, thoughts in my life of now I'm trying to do things a different way, So yeah, I mean, that's my little speech for today on that.
No, that made me smile. I'm glad, bro. It's this conversation is definitely something I've been praying for like years. So it's pretty awesome, like seeing how God works. Like, man, he takes a while sometimes, but
yeah,
it's all God's
sure.
timing, right? Like me inviting Tyler to worship nights and church and trying to talk to him about God and religion, and like he said, he was always a good friend. Like he never shut me down. He never like made fun of me. He even went to a couple services and worship nights to like support me, and it was great. But it's like it was just that like he said, like there's so many things that like we agree on and we believe the same thing and all this stuff. And I've literally told so many people, I'm like, he pisses me off because we'll be talking and I'm like, just be a Christian. You're pretty much just a Christian. You just don't believe in God. Like with the like, and I would always tell people, I'm like, this is how me and Tyler talk. Yeah, bro, God works in crazy ways. And he'll be like, yeah, the universe does work in crazy ways. Like, that's how it was, like, all the time. And it would not drive me insane, but I'm like, bro, you're right there. I'm like, it's just like this just little bit you're missing. And I'm like, and I would like, it was something I would always pray for. And then, and it's crazy, right? Because you needed to move across the country by yourself. You needed to be alone and have time to. If you need to get up, you can.
No,
you
I
needed. Okay. Like you needed to be placed exactly where you are now, to be where you are now.
Right.
And it's crazy how it works, and it just it like makes my heart happy because. Especially for some like my best friend, like like especially for someone that's my best friend, like that's something like you're someone I care about, like you're a soul I care about, like deeply. So, and just seeing how like you guys are hearing this when I'm hearing this. Well, you're hearing it a week after, but you know, like same timing, right? Like he's
Yeah.
telling me all this on the podcast, and it's just crazy. Like it's just God's so good, and you know, just keep at it. Like you said, you gotta give it a fair shot, though.
Yeah, well, even going back to your point of like when you said like when I would come to service nights with you, and because he would be performing, and he'd always invite me out as well, of course. And anytime I went to those service nights with him, I was still going in with the wrong mindset. I wasn't going in to learn. I wasn't going in to listen. I wasn't going in to understand. I was going to support my friend, which yes is a very good thing, right? But I wasn't giving it that fair shot, right? So it's not enough to just say, oh, well, I went to church and I didn't feel anything. You know how many times I went to church and didn't feel anything because I wasn't trying to actively like have an open heart and have an open mind? Like many times. I went for him, I went for one of my other friends once, and I wasn't there for the right reasons. I wasn't there to try to have a connection, to try to have a relationship, to try to learn. And funny enough, even like my girlfriend and her best friend would always invite me out to service, and I would be like, no, like I have to edit, I have to do this. And which like I did have to do, but of course I should have made the time. But the first night that I decided to go, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll go. And this time when I go, I'm actually going to listen. I'm actually going to be there. I'm going to be present. I'm going to be mindful. I'm going to be open. And the night I went, they were having 2 guest speakers, and they were covering some of the biggest things that like I had, I guess you could say, indifferences with in the Christian religion, covering different topics about, abortion and people's homosexuality and this and that, and just all these different topics that, I think a lot of people have, their indifferences with. And, that's when I decided I listened, and I still went away pretty like, okay, like, because of certain answers. And I do think there are still certain ways to, like, the guests they had answered it in a certain way. And from the research and studies I've done, there are a lot of different ways you can interpret things and go about it, right? Not getting into any specifics right now. But then I went to him. I went to Gabe. I chatted with him. I said, hey, we have pretty similar views and thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts on this? And he explained a lot of things to me and how he struggles through these certain topics as well, or how he's come to understand it, and his different perspectives as well on them. And it really like opened my eyes to be like, oh, there's like this whole other perspective, and other people have other perspectives than you as well. And then just now, so those really sparked my interest. And because I paid attention, and such on an interesting night where like it related to a lot of the questions I have, it's just like I said, it just like brought me to that specific point. I could have went to another one where like another service night where like maybe it wasn't those specific questions, so I wouldn't have been as intrigued. I don't know. But all that to say, like, I asked the questions afterward. I could have just been like, oh, yeah, prove me right. No, I said, no, let me ask questions. Let me figure this out. Let me do some research. Let me try to see if I'm right, or if I'm wrong, or what's going on here, And then by learning and reading the Bible and asking more questions and watching more Christian podcasters speak about different topics, like I started to understand more, and I started to really gain knowledge in some of the things that I, felt a certain way about. And so, that's just the thing is like God works in mysterious ways. And, like I said, I had to give it that opportunity. I had to be open. You have to, like I said earlier, you have to be the one to open the door. You have to be the one to open your heart. So yeah, and there's been a lot of other things, since then. And it's only been this year as well. So there's still so much for me to learn, so much for me to read, so much for me to gather and to, of course, for us both to speak about as well. But yeah, I can't wait to continue sharing and also like sharing our struggles with it, because I think that's what's very relatable, and like we're all gonna have struggles with it. So yeah, I just felt that was a good thing for us to catch up on.
Yeah, you made me tear up. I started crying. Bro, I was so anxious for that phone call where you were just talking about like all your questions and stuff like that. Because he's just like Tyler's never like, "Hey, can we talk soon and like find a time where we can sit on the phone?" Like never. And I was like, yeah. And then I'm like, "What's it about?" You're like, "Oh, just faith." And I'm like, "Oh, no biggie." Just faith.
Like, I got
No
this.
worries. I was like, oh, okay. Bro, I remember like I was like hardcore praying. I was like calling my mom about it. I had lunch with like one of my church leaders because I was like freaking out because I was like, what if I said the wrong thing? I'm like, this is a crucial moment. I feel like I'm like this could make or break it. I don't know. So I started crying because clearly it went well, and I'm glad it did. And
That's funny. I didn't know it was that intense.
yeah, why would I tell you that? No, but it was
Came
so
in
it
all
was so
calm and
intense.
composed, like, yeah, what do you want to know?
I'm like, what's up, dog? And I'm over here like shaking because I'm so anxious. No, bro, it was good. I mean, I didn't do anything. It was God, like, but I'm glad I was able to, I guess, be a vessel in that way at that moment.
Yeah,
that you
absolutely,
needed,
absolutely, man.
it's so cool.
Yeah, and I thank you for always being there for me, man, and supporting me, and of course, again, like I think another big takeaway from this is like we were best friends. Well, I mean, we still are, but for years, and we had different religious views, and we have different views on other things as well, right? Like stupid
Yeah.
things. But it just goes to show that like you don't always have to see eye to eye with people. Whether it comes to religion, whether it comes to politics, whether it comes to the movies you like or whatever. I mean, nowadays people on the internet will argue about every single thing, but it's like you can have a great relationship with people. And listen, like, what if he would have turned his back on me? What if he would have been like, you know what? You don't see the same way as me on my religious views. We can't be friends. Maybe I would have never gone this way. You know what I mean? Maybe it was his little nuggets over time that led me to these decisions. And I would say that it was. I would say he was a big instrument in that. Of course, like he said, God did. But, it's the people along the way that can encourage you, that can place my girlfriend and her best friend asking me and encouraging me, hey, do you want to come with us? Maybe if they wouldn't have kept asking me, I wouldn't have been the one to be like, hey, I need to go. Maybe I would have. Maybe it would have been later down the line. But that's why people spread the good news. They spread the word. And that's also why you just have to be willing to like realize and open that not everybody's going to see the same way as you. And again, like, even if I didn't come to this right now, we would still be best friends. We'd still have a podcast. We'd still get along and amazingly, right? So, just always, remember to consider that, because I know there's even some people that feel like, oh, well, I can only have friends of this religion, or I can only have friends that are Republican, or I can only this or that. And it's like, if that's the way you're viewing things, like, you really have to do some work on yourself, and you really have to change your perspective and your mindset, because that's just not the right way to view life. And I mean, again, that's not what God calls us to do. He calls us to love everybody. And of course, to spread the good news. But again, if, as Paul said in one of his verses, he's like, I tried. They didn't believe. I tried. I did my part, so you can move forward. You can continue living life, and, as long as you're doing your part, but yeah, so.
Wow. I didn't think that's where this episode was going, so that's cool. But it is true what he's saying about, like, it's just respect. And it's understanding that people also come from different backgrounds, different reasons. And I think it's very important to ask, like, why? You know what I mean? And because you just made me think of something where a couple years ago, there was this coworker that I had. And, She was just talking about her views on this specific topic, and she was like, and everyone that like doesn't agree with me, like they're just a terrible person. Like they're literally like the worst type of human being. And then I was like, just because they don't agree with you on this one thing. And then she's like, yeah, like if you don't agree with this, like you're genuinely just a terrible person. And I was like, do you think I'm a terrible person? And then she's like, because I guess she just didn't think I disagreed with her.
Right.
And then she's like, well, no. And I'm like, well, did you even ask me why I thought what I did? Or why I think what I do? And then she's like, well, no. And then I told her where my stance was and like why it was there. And she was literally like, oh, well, like that's different. Like that makes sense. And I'm like, case in point. I was like, I'm not saying I'm right and you're not saying I'm right. And I'm not saying you're wrong and you're not saying you're wrong. We have our reasons. This is why we believe them, and it makes sense on why we believe what we believe based off what we're saying.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Exactly.
And it's okay. It's okay to disagree.
You can coexist. As long as, again, one or the other isn't being disrespectful towards you and always bashing you for it and this and that. Like if this girl would have continually, after that conversation, started treating him differently, started treating him like a piece of crap, right? Like then obviously he would be like, okay, well then obviously like I'm trying, you're not, we can't be friends anymore. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I'm trying to still be good to you. I'm trying to still be nice, and obviously like nothing's changed. You just view something this way, I view something this way. Maybe over time both of our views will change, right? Like I think people get so locked in, like, this is how I feel right now, so this is how I'll always feel. Like, you're going to go through life and experience things, and maybe your views will change, right? Maybe they won't, maybe they will, but, like, that's what I'm saying. You have to still be able to coexist with people, and, I just hear so many people talk nowadays about, like, oh, this person's this, they're a POS, or this person's this, I don't want to be friends with them. Like, seriously, like, you gotta change your outlook. You really have to
They're
like,
a point of service system?
Well, that's what we can call it for now. POS. Forget these restaurant terminologies.
Yeah, literally.
But speaking of perspective,
jinx.
do you want to bring up one of your perspective questions before we end off here?
Ooh, yeah, hold on.
Because I know you had a couple, so maybe we could knock one out right here and see what it is, because I forgot about them anyways. So I mean, it kind of fits into the perspective narrative that we've had going today. Also, it is so hot. We're going through a heat wave in California right now, and it is I'm sure it's not as bad as Florida, but it's been rough, man. And like, I work in a men's clothing store. We have all of our fall stuff out right now, and like nobody wants to shop it because it's so hot. Like, they know they're gonna need it, but like nobody's even in the mood to like shop for it right now. So for all my LA peeps out there, I'm feeling it too. It's rough. I mean, even sitting here doing the podcast, it's hot. Trust.
All right. So I got 3. Let's go with okay. What is the difference between dumb and stupid? Like, which one's worse? Here, let me rephrase it for short form. What is the difference between being dumb and being stupid, and which one's worse?
So, I don't know. I don't know the specific definitions of these, so I'm just going to go based upon my interpretations.
Correct. That's what I want.
I feel like dumb would mean like you're not as intellectually, you're not as like, you don't have a lot of knowledge. Like, you don't know a lot of things.
You're naive.
You maybe you didn't pay attention in school. You aren't aware. Like, more things like knowledge and like intellect and just things more of like what you know, right? And stupid is just like, I feel like more decision making or like goofiness. Like, you made a stupid decision, you shouldn't have done that. Oh, you cheated on your girlfriend? That was stupid. That was dumb. Oh, I don't know, pulled a prank on somebody and it went wrong? That was stupid. Or like, what did I say? It's like decisions and goofiness. Like, oh my God, you're so stupid. Stop. Like with that funny face. You know what I mean? Something like that. Again, I think they both can be interpreted both ways. But in my opinion, I think like dumb is more of like, knowledge, and stupid is lack of knowledge. And stupid is like, you're just like, you do stupid things. You do dumb things. So they both work the same way. I don't know if either one is worse than the other. I guess it depends on how you look at it. I want to say dumb might be quote unquote worse because you just like don't know a lot of things versus like, again, stupid. It can be worse. And again, some of the obvious things that I've mentioned that could be stupid, but it could also mean like a goofy thing. Like, oh my God, he's just stupid. He's just doing that. Like maybe you scared, you're like, you scared your friend. And like, oh my God, why are you so stupid? Like, I don't know. It's a very interesting question. I don't know if you have any more intelligent thoughts than I do.
I actually think I confused myself as I was saying it in my head.
I'm like,
because I was one way and then because okay, so here's my thing. I feel like I was almost the opposite of you, where I'm like, stupid is like you can't fix stupid, but you can fix dumb.
So you're saying stupid is intellect or like intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, because like, for example, like the cheating, right? Like, oh, you cheated on your significant other. You knew better than that, and you still chose to do it.
Okay.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
You were speeding, and you know the speed limit. You got a ticket because you're stupid.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, dumb, I feel like, is just you didn't know any better. Or you be like, bro, like stop being so dumb. Like you're like silly, you know what I mean? Or like, bro, that's dumb. Like that's dumb. Like I feel like that's how I use it.
Okay.
I feel like
I can see that perspective.
We were but then when you were talking, I was like, wait, is that what I was trying to say?
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, you can make a case for either one.
Either way, correct. So you vote stupid is worse. You vote dumb is worse. I vote stupid is worse.
But again, I said like it's hard 'cause it's in like specific context, right? Like, because think about it. Sometimes again, in different situations, like let's say people are stupid in the sense of like, I had this one guy that I knew that like, I don't know if you would call this stupid, but basically like he had an audition and he went into the room, the lobby, whatever, and his like back was hurting from his flight. So he like lays down and tells the girl sitting across from him to like walk on his back. Like most people would be like, okay, that's kind of stupid, but maybe that like created some sort of weird chemistry between them and he ended up getting the role, right? So like his like goofy / stupid nature, like most people wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's I'm probably not using the right term, but like, or again, people do stupid things on the internet and now they're famous. Not a good thing, but it led them to making money. You know what I mean?
But they do stupid things that they know to not do.
Oh, yeah.
Like what kind is stupid? I get what kind of like I guess you got to give kind of examples because you could be talking about like Jack Doherty, for example, which he knows better than to just try to punch someone in the face, or you talking about like a guy
like
stepped on the
like that's stupid. Him going up being like Papi Muñaña or something,
Yeah,
it's stupid.
But I feel like that's just
really
dumb.
I mean,
see, like every time you say that's stupid in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's dumb. And then, but you say stupid, I'm like, oh.
That's funny. I mean, that's interesting that we have like a swapped perspective on that.
Yeah, but they're still interchangeable, so it's like it is what it is.
Yeah, because I feel like again, like stupid and dumb can be. I wonder if there's like an actual definition difference between the two.
You want me to look it up really quick?
I mean, yeah, I don't care. I really need some coffee, though. I'm starting to get a little bit of a headache. Just not good. I know. I don't drink that much caffeine. I only drink 1 cup of coffee a day. But I do know that it is, if you stop. That was the one time I used to do 2 coffees a day, just while he's looking this up. I used to drink like a coffee and a pre-workout at night. I don't do the pre-workout anymore. But I was like, okay, I'm going to take a caffeine tolerance break. Dude, that week of not having any caffeine, I had the worst headaches of my life, the worst like mood swings, and just like not wanting to do anything. So listen, as much as I love coffee and caffeine, just know like it can be an addiction as much as anything else. And I think a lot of people don't know that, but just be wary. Don't be going overboard on the caffeine, because like if you are, like if you're somebody who drinks like 2 cups of coffee a day or coffee and energy drink, try to take a break for a couple days and let me know if you have headaches or withdrawals or anything, because it's real. It's for sure real. All right, back to the Catching Up Podcast.
All right. So I was just gonna say, like, it's like an ad every time I have to like look something up. Okay, so I might not be in frame anymore, but
An ad.
I looked dumb person meaning, and it says a dumb person is someone who is lacking intelligence, stupid, or foolish.
Okay, the
word
first. Okay.
Yeah, it's just the word dumb is included. Yeah, that was just nothing else.
Lacking
But-
intelligence. Okay.
Okay, stupid or foolish, right? Like you just make idiotic mistakes. And then it says a stupid person, because I said stupid person meaning.
Yeah.
It says a stupid person is someone who lacks intelligence or reason and makes decisions that seem to lack common sense.
Okay, so yeah, I think we both like had equal perspectives on it.
Yeah.
Like I think we're just like different. in
Both
what
are
we would
lacking
label-
intelligence.
Yeah.
Dumb is foolish, so it's like goofy things. Like you were saying, like the Chupapi Muñaño, I guess, would be dumb. But then the stupid is makes decisions that seem to lack common sense. So therefore, they either just don't think, or they, from what I'm getting from it, is either they
Yeah.
don't think or they. Oh yeah, it says a stupid person is considered the most general and insulting term for someone who lacks intelligence, wisdom, or mental quickness.
Interesting.
So I think stupid's worse.
I still
I
feel
was
like they're the
right.
same word, but
I mean, there is very little. It just. Hold on.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. I feel like it would be like a minuscule difference,
Correct.
But yeah, you could take the dub for that one.
See, but like good question, right?
He said, "See, I'm not stupid."
I'm dumb.
All right, cool. I think that can wrap up this episode. Let us know what you think. If you think there's an actual difference between the two words, because
And
we
what the
obviously,
difference is,
yeah, we tried, but I don't know if we came
and
to a
which one's
conclusion.
worse.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll be it
And,
for episode 2. He's gonna yawn.
I also need coffee. Jeez. Anyways, that's a wrap for episode 2. We got a little deep and spiritual with y'all, and if you like it, stay tuned. More of that to come. Not saying every episode, but more of that to come. If you want every episode, let us know. Let us know what you think. Dumb or stupid for the win. Which one? Let us know.
Sure, the win.
Let us know what your favorite type of coffee is.
Let us know if you like pumpkin spice, because if you do, let us know
True.
where the best one is, and if we have it in our area, we'll go and try it.
Yeah.
But yeah, until next time, I'm Tyler,
I'm Gabriel.
and we'll see y'all in the next one.
Peace.